Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachariyam. Yamunatira Vanachariyam. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachariyam. Yamunatira Vanachariyam. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gora Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Achyuta Keshava Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Even sneezing you can use in Krishna's service. Instead of saying Achu, say Achyuta. Since I was new devotee, I used to do that while sneezing. Everybody was imitating me. Achyuta, Achyuta. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tam Brahma Purnam Amritam Bigunam Vishokam Anandamatram Avikaram Ananya Anyat Vishvasya Hetur Udayastiti Samyamanam Atmeshwarascha tad apekshata yanapeksha. Atmeshwarascha. Yes, yes. 7. What it says there? 8th canto, chapter 12, text 7. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. Yes. Atmeshwarascha tad apekshata yanapeksha. Tvam Brahma Purnam Amritam Vigunam Vishokam Anandamatram Avikaram Anadyadanyat Vishvasya Hetur Udayastiti Samyamanam Atmeshwarascha tad apekshata yanapeksha. Tvam Brahma Purnam Amritam Vigunam Vishokam Anandamatram Avikaram Ananyadanyat Vishvasya Heturudayastiti Samyamanam Atmeshwarascha tad apekshata yanapekshaha. Ladies, no? That's not easy, huh? Tuam, your lordship, Brahma, the all-pervading absolute truth, Purnam, fully complete, Amritam, never to be vanquished, Vigunam, spiritually situated, free from the material modes of nature, Vishokam, without lamentation, Anandamatram, always in transcendental bliss, Avikaram, changeless, Ananyat, separated from everything, and yet you are everything. Vishvasya, of the cosmic manifestation. Hetu, the cause. Udaya, of the beginning. Sthiti, maintenance. Samyamanam, of all the directors controlling the various departments of the cosmic manifestation. Atma Ishvara, the super soul giving direction to everyone. Cha, also. Tat apekshataya, everyone depends upon you. Anapekshaha, always fully independent. Translation. My Lord, you are the Supreme Brahman, complete in everything. Being completely spiritual, you are eternal, free from the material modes of nature, and full of transcendental bliss. Indeed, for you there is no question of lamentation. Since you are the Supreme Cause, the cause of all causes, nothing can exist without you. Yet, we are different from you in the relationship of cause and effect. For in one sense, the cause and effects are different. You are the original cause of creation, manifestation, and annihilation, and you bestow benedictions upon all living entities. Everyone depends upon you for the results of his activities, but you are always independent. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avastitaha. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. This explains the philosophy of simultaneous oneness and difference, known as Achintya Veda Tattva, Veda Veda Tattva. Everything is the Supreme Brahman, the Personality of Godhead, yet the Supreme Person is differently situated from everything. Indeed, because the Lord is differently situated from everything material, He is the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Cause, the Supreme Controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha. The Lord is the Supreme Cause, and His form has nothing to do with the material modes of nature. The devotee prays, as your devotee is completely free from all desires, your Lordship is also completely free from desires. You are fully independent. Although all living entities engage in your service, you do not depend on the service of anyone. Although this material world is created complete by you, everything depends on your sanction. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness come from you. Nothing can be done independently, yet you act independently of the service rendered by your servants. The living entities depend on your mercy for liberation. But when you want to give them liberation, you do not depend on anyone else. Indeed, by your causeless mercy, you can give liberation to anyone. Those who receive your mercy are called Kripa Siddha. To reach the platform of perfection takes many, many lives. Bahunam jamaramante gyanamam prapadyate. Nonetheless, even without undergoing severe austerities, one can attain perfection by your mercy. Devotional service should be unmotivated and free from impediments. Ahaitukya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. This is the position of nirashisha, or freedom from expectations for results. A pure devotee continuously offers transcendental loving service to you, but you may nonetheless offer mercy to anyone without depending on his service. Om Agyanati Mirandasya Giranjana Salakaya Chaksharu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respectful obeisance unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Mutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pracharine Nirvisisa Sunyavadi Paschatya Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Shiva continues glorifying the Supreme Lord. And everything he says is very deep, very profound. And sometimes it may seem like repetitive, the glorification of the Lord. It is repeated once and again, apparently the same thing. But the fact as repetition is necessary for us to imbibe the actual understanding of the Shastra. It is said even Lord Brahma, he studied the Veda 3 times. No? One devotee said his realization that the first time Brahma realized Brahman, the second time he studied the Veda, realized Paramatma, the third time he studied the Veda, realized Bhagavan. That is devotee's realization, not the Shastra. But so sometimes devotee can share the realization. If it's not against Shastra, it's okay, can be accepted. So here Lord Shiva is saying that, oh Lord, although you are complete in everything, you're eternal, free from all material modes of nature, and full of transcendental bliss. Krishna is known as Anandamayo Vyasat, the fountainhead of all bliss, all Ananda. And he, although he is one, he became many. What is the verse? Eko Bahu Shyam? Anyone? Eko Bahu Shyam. Although he is one, Shyam, dark and beautiful, he became many, Bahu. He has 2 different types of expansion called Amsha and Bibinamsha. We are the Bibinamsha, separated parts. There are unlimited number of souls. There is no limit to the numbers. The quarter part of the spirit souls are in the material world. The 3/4 parts are in the spiritual world. So there are more liberated souls than conditioned souls. So sometimes people think, oh, you're a minority. And no, actually we belong to the majority. I mean, in the sense we follow the eternally liberated soul. So we belong to the majority, not the minority. This bliss is what makes everything wonderful. I mean to say, Eternality has to have bliss, otherwise has no meaning. Eternality without bliss. That's what the Mayavadi want. They want eternal life with knowledge, but no, there is no bliss. That's why Prabhupada Saraswati, he said, Brahman liberation is narakate, it's like hell. And pleasure in the heavenly planet is phantasmagoria. Illusion is a big illusion. No? It's a fact. We are living in an illusion. You know what is called daydreaming, night dreaming. When at night we dream, we see, we hear things, we do things, and we believe it is real. And when we are dreaming, we believe it is real. It's no question of thinking, oh no, this is dream, I'm not doing this. No, you completely believe that it is real while we are dreaming. I will tell you one dream I had many years ago. Amazing dream. I dreamed that I was in Venezuela, then the temple, living in the temple. And I dreamed that I was in France, in Paris. And I went to visit the temple there. And the temple, they had a restaurant. So one devotee I knew, because I was living some time in France, in the 80s, end of 79. So one devotee who knew me invited me to have prasad at the restaurant. So we went up the restaurant, we were sitting, having nice prasad, nice Krishna conscious conversation. And suddenly, in the middle of the dream, I realized something. And I asked my friend, my dear friend, I don't remember how I arrived in Paris. I don't remember taking a plane or a boat or anything. How did I arrive here? I can't remember. My friend smiled and said, you came in the chariot of the mind. When he said that, I realized I was dreaming. I woke up. So I thought, wow, this is amazing, you know. You can realize that you're dreaming. And it's more easy to realize that we are dreaming when we are apparently awake. In the sense that here we are trying to be Krishna conscious. We do our sadhana, wake up early in the morning, come chant. But are we actually aware that we are in a dream? We are in a dream. We are thinking we are fallen. Prabhupada said we are dreaming we are fallen. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said something very, very profound, very deep. He said, even beginning devotees, you should not think they are in the samsara. Even new devotees. It's like a mango. A mango may be green on the tree. It's just a question of time, it will become ripe. Yeah. So the idea is, once somebody starts doing Bhakti Yoga, he's already in the path of liberation. It doesn't matter, it's going to take, like Prabhupada said, may take some few lives, you know, or many lives, whatever, depending on how much we surrender. But he's already in the path of liberation. So he should not be considered in the samsara. He already started his path to eternal blissful life. So that is very important. That is very important. Knowing that what is our destination, then makes things easier to be detached from our present situation in relation to our material bodies or to our problems or attachments, whatever, become like insignificant, not important, not so important. We may take care of things as we should do, but with the sense of detachment, no? Sense of detachment. Mm-hmm. So this is very important. And of course, we should know that here Lord Shiva is glorifying Lord Vishnu. No? And Lord Vishnu, according to Shastra, he has only 93% of Krishna's qualities, which means 60 qualities of the 64. So he has all this. Krishna has the same thing that is described here, and he has more. much more. Here is say that he never laments. He's free from lamentation. That we see sometimes Krishna lamenting, but that lamentation is not material. He's lamenting his separation from his beloved Radha, for example. But that's not material. We see Lord Ramchandra lamenting for separation from Sita Devi when she was kidnapped by Ravana. He was crying like an ordinary man, human being. But this feelings of separation is not mundane. It's transcendental. Otherwise, why Hanuman will be attracted to hear Ramayana, whatever it is recited, if it is such a sad story? He was sent to the forest, exiled 14 years, then his wife was kidnapped, then he had to fight the demons and kill Ravana, and then when he came back victorious, after a short time he had to send his wife back to the forest. It seemed like a very sad story. But Hanuman knows this is all blissful, transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This is Lila. And apparently it looks like sorrow and lamentation is there, but this is not mundane. Even sometime in India, Muslim and Christian, they try to preach to people, change their religion, to convert. And they ask them, who do you worship? I worship Ramchandra. Oh, he was crying for his wife. What kind of God is that? He could not prevent his wife being kidnapped. What kind of God is that? Oh, I worship Krishna. Oh, Krishna, he likes many girls, you know. What kind of God is that? They can't understand Leela. They can't understand the pastimes of the Lord. It's something beyond them. Only devotees can understand this thing. Because they are in the path of liberation, the Lord shared with them the knowledge, the feeling through the cyclic succession, of course. And through the heart also. His Chaita Guru is in the heart. He may give you confirmation. Yes, you are on the right path. Don't deviate. Keep going. Keep going. Try to refine your understanding. Try to develop more bhakti. Try to develop more lobha, greed, spiritual greed. That's the price to pay to achieve spiritual advancement, to be eager, to be enthusiastic, to be greedy. I want to make spiritual advancement. Not just, okay, I'm doing my duty, 60 round for principle, no service. That's okay, that's fine. But what about the desire to come closer to Krishna? You know, how to feel more the desire to be with Him, to see Him. Actually, we don't know God. We think we know God. Of course, we have the information about His beautiful transcendental form. Alola chandrang lasatba namalyabam shiratnagadam pranayakili kalavilasam shyamam tribhanga lalitani yata prakasham govinda madi purusham tamaham bhajami. He has a very beautiful tree-bending form, which is very attractive, very beautiful. We know all this in theory. We know all this in theory. It is true. It is a fact. The Shastra explain. We know about the form of Krishna revealed by the Parampara, by Srila Prabhupada and the Shastra. But we haven't seen it. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, how can I know am I pleasing Krishna? And Prabhupada answer was, when you see Him. That's a very profound answer. Do you know Prabhupada revealed at certain moment that by the mercy of his Guru he was seeing Krishna? That was in 1972. One of the disciples named Sudama entered the room to leave some things Prabhupada. And he saw Prabhupada chanting his japa and crying. So he gave obeisance and went out, not want to disturb. And he told one lady devotee, Prabhupada's having some difficulties crying. Is he sad for something? She told him, this is ecstasy with Krishna, you know. At that time, they didn't have nectar of devotion yet. So she told him, I have some ironed clothes for Prabhupada, please. No, I don't want, no, you have to take it, he may need it. Okay. So Sudama entered again, put the devotees there. Pedobis was walking out, Prabhupada called him, Sudama, come here. Do you know why am I crying? No, Prabhupada, I don't know. Because by the mercy of my Guru, now I'm seeing Krishna. So Sudama started crying. Prabhupada asked him, why you're crying? I don't know, Prabhupada, why I'm crying. I don't deserve to have such an elevated spiritual master. I'm so fallen. Prabhupada said, that's all Krishna's arrangement for me to come to America. You come to me. That's all Krishna's arrangement, you know. So, once a student challenged Prabhupada, have you seen God? And Prabhupada's answer was, will you accept any answer I will give you as true? Yes, yes, whatever you say I will accept. Very good, yes, I have seen God. He surrendered, became a devotee. Once a new devotee in Germany, he was planning to move into the temple, you know, become full-time engaged. But he had one doubt. He said, until I solve this doubt, I'm not going to surrender. So it happened, by Krishna's mercy, Prabhupada came to Germany, and he was able to ask the question to Prabhupada. And the question was, if Krishna knew that we are going to be attracted to Maya, why Krishna created Maya? And Prabhupada's answer was, no, Krishna didn't create Maya. You created Maya. Because of your desire to enjoy something from Krishna, you made Krishna create Maya for you. It is for your purpose, not for Krishna's purpose. It is your desire, your responsibility, not Krishna's responsibility. And he surrendered. Now his name is Sachinandan Swami. Hare Krishna. So, one very interesting thing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the Jaiva Dharma, that the absolute truth, to be complete, has to have everything. The perfect spiritual world and the imperfect material world. Otherwise will not be complete, the absolute truth. Has to have everything. Everything shall be included there. And he said, the suffering that the living entities undergo in the material world is for their own rectification. It's like when you want to make golden ornament, you have to use fire and a hammer to mold the gold to make ornaments. So in the same way, for the purification of the soul, rebellious soul in the material world, they need this hammering, which is suffering. So they can react, yes, it is true. This place is not for looking for happiness. It's the wrong place to look for happiness. It's only an illusion. It's only an illusion. There is an amazing story, but better I will tell it in the Sunday class, Sunday feast class. Anyway, we have some minutes. Any questions, comments? Yes.
I always wondered about this when I first read it. The end of the second canto, chapter 3, I think it is, or maybe chapter 2.
Yeah.
It describes how Lord Brahma, he studied the Vedas 3 times.
Yeah.
And then he came to the conclusion that pure devotional service to Krishna is what it's all about, something like that.
Right.
And then you have, is it Matsya who saved the Vedas and put the Vedas like that? But Brahma, what does it mean that he studied 3 times? They weren't written down till much later. How is he studying 3 times? Like, is he looking through a book?
No. There was no need of books at that time. He heard it from Lord, the Supreme Lord himself, and he memorized them. And after memorize them, he went through all of them 3 times. Yeah, in his mind, he was studying the Vedas. He didn't need the book to read. He has 4 heads. He can memorize everything. Since you have 4 heads, 4 Vedas, each head was studying each Veda at the same time.
But you remember when he started with the creation, there were some problems, right?
Yes.
So he had 4 headaches too.
He has 4 headaches too. Once at the beginning of the movement, I think was Jadurani, the artist, painter. She was painting Krishna and everything, but then she had to paint Lord Brahma, and she became really bewildered. She went to Prabhupada, how is it possible somebody can have 4 heads? This look like science fiction or something. And Prabhupada smiled, told her, Krishna can give anyone not only 4 heads, he can give hundreds, thousands of heads if needed for their service. No? You remember the story where Brahma went to Dwarka, wanted to see Krishna, and he was proud, I'm the only Brahma, the creator of this universe. And Krishna called all the Brahmas from other universe. And when Brahma went in, he felt like a small ant in front of the big Brahmas with so many heads. But only the Brahma from this universe was able to see all the Brahma. Each and every Brahma thought they were alone with Krishna. Many Shivas also were there. Yeah, Prabhupada said that. Anyway, the idea is that we have no idea. That's the idea. The idea is that we have no idea how unlimited, how great, how wonderful is Krishna. And how small and tiny we are. The moment we realize this, our heart will be filled with admiration, and then admiration can become love. No? I was telling Dravida Prabhu, Krishna is so amazing. He's the supreme perfect enjoyer. He has everything so perfectly arranged for his eternal happiness and enjoyment. He has wonderful, beautiful gopis who are so much in love with him. He has Radharani, the most beautiful in all universes, material and spiritual. He has so loving friends. He loves the cows. He loves his parent. He loves everyone. And he's full of joy, full of bliss. And that bliss, that Ananda is increasing moment by moment, unlimitedly. Wow! And we are a small part of him. We belong to him. And we are thinking, I'm independent. I'm not subordinate. So that's the disease of the souls in this material world. They don't want to be subordinate to God. They want to be independent. But we can't be independent at any moment. We depend on Krishna to survive in this world. So, knowing that, the right conclusion will be, we have to surrender. Give up our false ego and just surrender to Krishna. Yes. Give the mic, please.
In Srila Prabhupada's purport, he quotes the Bhagavad Gita 9:4.
Yes.
And Krishna is saying that all beings are in me, but I am not in them.
Yes.
But then later on he says, I'm situated in everyone's heart.
Yes.
Why would Krishna make such stark contradictions like that?
There is no contradiction.
Well, seemingly it's
seemingly
so why would he make
contradiction.
a seemingly contradictory
Because
statements?
when Krishna speaks this verse, he's speaking about himself as Bhagavan, not as Paramatma. All living are in me, but I'm not in them. But as Paramatma, he's in them, not as Bhagavan. There's a difference between Bhagavan and Paramatma.
Okay.
Is not right?
Yeah, so he's taking a position. He's taking one position, then he's taking another position.
Right.
It's like a father takes a position, and then the boss of the company, the same person, takes another position.
Yes, different roles in different situations. Give Dravida.
As you read the Bhagavad Gita, I mean, as an editor, I'm always thinking, the different cases and the different... And Krishna's periodically going into the third person.
Yes.
Surrender to him.
Surrender to him.
Ishwarak Sarvabhuteshu. The Ishwara is in everyone. Not that I'm in everyone. So he's periodically taking a step back and talking of himself as God.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
And you know why he does that?
No.
Okay. I can guess why he does that. Because Krishna from time to time may forget his divinity out of Yoga Maya. Even in Vrindavan Leela, he forgets his divinity and he thinks himself, I'm a child and mother's going to chastise me, start crying. But it's not fake crying, it's real crying, real fear he's feeling. Because he wants to enjoy like human being. No? That's one way of understanding it. There may be another way of understanding it. No doubt.
Could he take that position also because he has the opulence of renunciation?
Yes, of course. He has all opulences. Renunciation is one of them. He may want to forget that he's God if he wants to. And Yogamaya helps him to forget that. So his enjoyment will increase. So he likes to enjoy as a human being.
He might speak in the third person about himself.
Yeah.
He wants to be shy. Right there.
Because we have to understand one thing. Krishna has many unlimited personalities. Advaitam Achutam Anadim Anantarupam. Unlimited forms. Sometimes Mayavadi, they protest. No, God can't have form name. That is a limitation. But what about unlimited forms, unlimited name? What is the limitation? There is no limitation. And each personality of God had its own volition, its own, existence, separate existence. It's not, I'm expansion of Krishna, I have to. No, they don't think like that. Although they may know it, of course. But they are completely independent in their behavior and their acting or thinking. So when Krishna speak like that in the third person, he's speaking about himself. Because there is nothing except himself. That's the point. Prabhupada said something. He said, God is everything, but everything is not God. It seemed like contradiction. But it's not contradiction. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. That's the philosopher Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna is different and non-different at the same time from all his energies, including the living entities.
So I have one question. I'm not just swooping in at the end of class to ask an unrelated question. We were listening in the kitchen, and one thing you said at the beginning, this question, stayed in my mind. So to start, I just want to preface it. I don't want to develop a reputation for being a contrarian. But I would also lose respect for myself by not asking about this one. So toward the beginning of class, you mentioned, Brahman these 3 times, and one devotee offered his realization on why these 3 times. And, may I ask who that devotee is?
No, I don't remember his name. Okay. Right now, I don't remember his name. But he's one of Prabhupada's disciples. He's Prabhupada's disciple. Okay. I mean to say, not necessarily it's in the Shastra that.
Right, and you mentioned.
But I mean, it's not contradictory with another Shastra either. So
the troubling statement, or the confusing statement to me, was a statement that devotees can offer their own realizations on different things like this, and as long as it doesn't contradict the Shastra, that's okay.
Yes.
To me, that seems incorrect because there are many ways that a devotee, Like, what level of devotee are we talking about?
Well,
I could
of course,
offer my
we're
own.
talking about advanced devotee, not just.
So,
not
like you're
just-
mentioning,
not
this is
just
a
new
Srila Prabhupada
devotee who
disciple.
like to do mental speculation, you know.
Well, I would be worried if the sufficient level of devotee is just a Prabhupada disciple, that a Prabhupada disciple can
No, it's
offer
not.
his own
It's not the
realization.
proper disciple. Any devotee who's advanced in spiritual understanding, spiritual realization, he can share his own realization. Actually, the Bhagavatam itself says, what is the verse? I'm speaking according to my own realization. Sutta Goswami telling the sages, what is the truth? He used two words to explain according to my realization. I can't remember the Sanskrit word, but...
So some devotees speak according to their realization in that they don't speak about topics beyond what they understand. It'd be
that's the point. That's the point.
Another translation that people could use that term, speaking according to your realization, isn't that, well, I'm speaking what I've realized, not necessarily what's in the Shastra. That'd be kind of two whole ways of using that phrase, speaking your realization.
I mean to say, in spiritual circles, when somebody speaks, has to quote Shastra. That's
right. So that's
the main point. That's the main point. Now, if the statement you can't find any contradiction in the Shastra of that person's realization, then you have to accept it at face value. You know.
I'm not sure why we should have to accept it as face value. Just because, for instance, here's an example. Here's a good one. Before you say that. Perhaps the most
you
well-known
don't have
example.
to accept it. Don't accept it. Nobody's forcing you to accept anything.
But you are teaching a very interesting statement that a devotee can offer his or her own realization, and even if it's not in Shastra,
I mean,
as long as it doesn't contradict. So here's the example I want to give.
Many details are not in Shastra. Not like every small detail is there in Shastra.
So should we feel confident sharing more details than are in Shastra or coming from a liberated soul?
Of course.
Should we feel comfortable, sharing, giving such instructions?
I mean, if somebody is following a liberated soul, he's also on the path of liberation. Prabhupada said that. In his humbleness, he said, I'm not liberated. But since I'm following my Guru who is liberated, I'm also liberated. So if somebody is very serious and sincere and surrender, and he's studying the Shastra, he's performing Bhakti, and want to share some realization, what's wrong with that? You know?
Well, perhaps here's what's wrong. Here's perhaps the most well-known example of this problem is that I think most devotees here are already familiar with. Is
unless he says something weird, then we may have doubt that.
Some would say weird means not in Shastra, though. So here's an example.
Obviously not in Shastra.
So here's one example. One example is this: one a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, long ago, when Srila Prabhupada was still here on the planet. When discussing Krishna's Leela of stealing the clothes from the gopis.
Yes.
And the gopis are standing there naked before Krishna.
Yeah.
One devotee offered his own realization that this is how we should come before Krishna, stripped away of anything, stripped away of all things, just naked before the Lord, and offer everything to the Lord. We should come before the Lord stripped naked. And Prabhupada was not at all happy. That was out of bounds, and he called it speculation. He said it was inappropriate.
That is not...
but it fits your criteria, which you mentioned.
Remember, at that time, devotee were new devotee. The majority of everyone was new devotee, a few years in the movement. And they were not supposed to speak about the gopis in that way. They didn't have the right, the adhikar to speak about the gopis in that way. We may read in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the pastime of Krishna the gopis, but Prabhupada said, don't comment on them, because we don't have the adhikar to discuss this. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, what is the relationship between Balarama and Radharani? He said, you are not qualified to ask this question. So
my point with that story is that nothing about what that devotee said contradicted Shastra. In fact, everything he said is supported by Shastra. We should approach the Lord stripped away of our bodies.
But he should not mention the gopi being naked. He's a new devotee.
But Srila Prabhupada's criticism was not him discussing the gopis. It was that he offered his own novel realization.
Yeah.
Now, so maybe what we can agree upon is maybe this is what you're saying. The conclusion is that it's necessary, or it is necessary that it doesn't contradict Shastra, but it's not sufficient not to contradict Shastra. So what makes it sufficient? Perhaps you and I could agree that the devotee sharing this realization has to be a liberated soul, and they're actually receiving direct realization from Krishna, not just it's creative and it fits and doesn't directly contradict.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you have to understand something very important in that regard. We have to appreciate all Vaishnavas. Actually, Prabhupada encouraged devotees come to Bhagavatam class and hear from Vaishnavas, no? Their realization, their understanding of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is unlimited. Can be studied from different angles of view, you know? Because it's unlimited. From different angles of view, we can discuss amongst devotees how to understand the philosophy and how to understand Krishna in that way. And there is a good spirit. When somebody does speculate, if somebody knows the Shastra, he will understand. He's speculating. No? I will tell you one example. For example, some years ago, I was in Alachua and one Gabbatar was giving class. And he said in the class something shocking. I didn't agree with, but I didn't confront him openly in front of everyone. I didn't want to create a scene or anything. But he was saying that in Vaikuntha there was a rebellion, an uprising, a coup d'etat. And that contradicts what Prabhupada said, that the inhabitants of Vaikuntha are eternally surrendered to Krishna. Although they can claim we are Vishnu because they have 4 arms, but they never do so because they are fully surrendered devotees. That's in Prabhupada's purpose. But he was saying that there was a rebellion, an act of coup d'etat, you know, in Vaikuntha. And that's completely his speculation, because there is no Shastra saying that. On what basis did he say that? I don't know. He just wanted to say it. So sometimes when something is obvious, you know. And you're right in the sense is that not necessarily by saying this I agree that this devotee said Brahmastha in the Vedas 3 times means he realized one. I mean, it's an innocent. What you say? A speculation. It is allowed philosophical speculation, but not mental speculation. There is a difference between mental speculation and philosophical speculation. For example, Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham Apsukamti, I'm the test of water. Mental speculation would be, is it true that Krishna is the test of water or not? That's mental speculation. And philosophical speculation will be, okay, Krishna is the test of water. Let me try to understand how is he the test of water. So there's a difference between mental and philosophical speculations. So we have to find the middle way, you know, not to go to extremes, not believing in anyone, anything.
Well, I'm not saying don't believe anyone anything. I'm saying don't believe things that aren't supported by Shastra.
We should not be blind followers either, you know.
But you mentioned that Srila Prabhupada taught us to attend Bhagavatam class and hear and appreciate devotees' realizations. But he also taught devotees giving Bhagavatam class to not speak outside of what's in Shastra and Acharyas, Guru Sadhu Shastra, and not just offer their own realizations, meaning outside of what's actually coming down from Parampara.
Try to understand something very important. At that time, most devotees were new devotees. They didn't have proper realization, you know. But after so many years in the movement practicing Krishna consciousness, they are more mature devotees in the movement, more realized devotees. So we can learn from them the realization.
What level of advancement, what stage of Krishna consciousness do you think one needs to be on before they can offer their own novel realizations in class or outside of class? What stage are you talking about?
I mean, the stage of surrender. If they are surrendered souls in serving to Guru and Krishna, and they are sincere, and they study the Shastra, they never contradict what the Shastras say, then we can learn from them.
But everything you just said applies to that new disciple of Srila Prabhupada.
Who said that applies to everyone. Naked. That's applied to everyone. Disciples of
that
disciples.
Disciple was surrendered, sincere.
Anyone who's sincere and surrendered.
And Srila Prabhupada shot it down. That's what I'm saying. That example I brought up of this devotee offering a realization about the gopis appearing naked before Krishna, that covered everything you just said. They were surrendered, they were sincere, they were not contradicting Shastra. But Prabhupada was very unhappy with it. He shut it down.
But Prabhupada has the right to correct his disciples. Understand what I mean? Myself, for example, I didn't felt I had the right to correct my godbrother. He was senior godbrother than me. I didn't feel publicly correct him, publicly like that. He says, was senior than me, you know. So we have to know the etiquette. There is Vaishnava etiquette, you know, how to deal in situations like that, no? Unless somebody say completely out of the blue something weird. I will tell you one example. Once I was visiting a temple in Mexico, and two ladies came to me very worried, very, you know, said, we need to consult something with you. One old devotee told us that when it is raining, be very careful, don't get wet by the rain, because these are contaminated souls falling from heavenly planets. So I have to pacify them. No. First of all, not all the rain falling from the sky are fallen demigods. First of all, some of them maybe, but not all of it. Otherwise, we will be, you know, alien invasion in the earth. Secondary, these are not impious souls, they are pious souls, otherwise they will not be in the heavenly planets. So don't worry, you can get wet, doesn't matter. You're not gonna get contaminated by the rain. And then I asked that devotee, I asked him, did you actually say that? He was embarrassed. No, I never said that. So when something is obvious, we have to, you know, immediately, you know. But if somebody is, say something like innocently, you know, some realization, if it doesn't create, you know, disturbance or doesn't create, you know, bewilderment in other people, then, you know.
I've just been hearing so many classes and been surprised by how many devotees. You don't have to accept
everything everybody say. I'm not saying that.
I was just going to say one last thing, and then I'll stop. I've been shocked over the years. I've listened to so many classes. I'm just really surprised hearing how many devotees feel confident, not only sharing their own novel realizations, their own interpretations, and so on, or repeating others. And I ask, where'd that come from? I don't know. I heard it from somebody. I don't know. And I'm just really surprised how. And if you ask, well, maybe you shouldn't repeat it. No, I don't know. I like it. Like, there's no healthy pressure of making sure that it doesn't just not contradict, but actually comes from
our authority is three: Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru. Isn't? So Sadhu means saintly person, and saintly person and Guru, they follow Shastra. They don't contradict Shastra. So if you hear somebody contradicting Shastra, you have the right to disagree. That's simple. And if it doesn't contradict Shastra, it is according to Shastra, then it's okay. That's simple, nothing complicated. I mean. You have this example of, it's
a little, I don't think it will clarify things like, anyways, but you have the example where 6 Goswamis, Vishnu Chakravati Thakur, and like, he gets into great detail in the 10th canto about the psychology of Krishna. I mean, that's, you know, where's that coming from? Those are his commentaries. Those are, you know, Srila Prabhupada does some things like that. He doesn't do that much, but there are some cases where Srila Prabhupada does that. But you had Madan Gopal here. I mean, it's similar, but he was talking about the whole churning of the ocean of milk. All of those classes he gave, none of the acharyas spoke about that. About
actually, some of the things he actually does come from Vishnu Chakravati Thakur.
Oh yeah.
Stuff, I was surprised like that looks like speculation, and then he explained I'm not speculating.
But like all of it,
I don't know. I didn't.
Because he was kind of getting a lot.
I'm not saying I should sign off on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's one thing. Bhakti Thakur also, Prabhupada also, 6
Yeah.
Goswamis also.
You can respectfully ask. What you can do is ask respectfully, is this in any Shastra you're saying is quoted in any Shastra, you know? Or any Acharya that say that, then if you get the right answer, yes, it is in such Shastra, such Acharya said that, then...
I mean, liberated souls make Shastra. 6 Goswamis, they gave their own, never before heard of.
Because they are liberated souls, they are Nitya Siddhas,
No contradiction.
Yeah, of course.
I'm wondering what's the minimum level.
Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, said that if a liberated soul, a pure devotee, give a new light to some statement in Shastra, we shall accept it because they are, although it may not, maybe the previous sages in the past didn't mention that, but he's giving a new revelation. Since this is pure devotee, we shall accept as Shastra. Because what is Shastra? Shastra is pure devotee speaking. That's a Shastra, Krishna and his pure devotee speaking. So that what we should accept. Thank you very much. La Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.